Tales from the Jails with John G. Sutton. Do please, folks, come on now, like and subscribe. It really helps. I'm going to talk today, it's me, alright. I'm going to talk today about something called Operation Safeguard. Don't believe me? Have a look it up, type it into Google, Operation Safeguard. The prisons are full again, despite the fact that they've let, 1,500 people out, 2,000 people, whatever it was, early. Reduced the period of sentencing from 50% to 40%. And they've now got 87,500 people in prison. And what's the solution for that? Well, temporarily, they're going to use police cells. That's right. They're going to hold convicted prisoners in cells in police stations. Now, I don't know if you've ever been in a cell in a police station. I have, unfortunately. I'll tell you about that towards the end. Anyway, but the police cells are approximately, 10 foot by 6 foot. They're only small cells. And there's no facilities at the police stations to actually care for the prisoners. There's no exercise area as a general rule. There's no education facilities. There's no medical facilities. And they can send for a doctor, can't they? Send for a nurse, send for a doctor. But as general rule, there is no medical officers on duty there. No education, no work. You're just locked in a cell 23 hours a day or whatever it is that you're locked in and left there. Operation Safeguard. Our Minister of Justice has decided that this is going to happen. And why? Because they haven't got any prison cells left. What on the earth is happening? Apparently there's another new prison opening up in North Yorkshire. That'll be opening up in about 8 weeks, they reckon, and then they're going to transfer all the inmates up to there. But in the meantime, they're using prison cells. Now, this is an absolute disgrace. And who are they imprisoning in there? Well, they imprison that poor sod who died in prison for shouting at the police. He got 2.5 years. Oh, they didn't imprison that MP who battered somebody senseless and bashed his head in while he was on the floor. No, they didn't imprison him. But some guy who shouted obscene chants at the police, he got 2.5 years. People who are posting up notifications on YouTube, Facebook, WhatsApp, Snapchat, Instagram, they got 2 years. What for? For making allegations about somebody who actually pleaded guilty to murdering children. Yep, they got time in prison for that. I'll tell you who else didn't get time in prison. John Prescott. Do you remember John Prescott? He was walking along and it was filmed on television. Somebody threw an egg at him. And John Prescott went in, grabbed the first bloke he came to and boosh. I give him his due. He stuck it on him good and proper. But it was the wrong man. And when Tony Blair was asked about this, what do you think about your Deputy Prime Minister battering somebody in the streets? Do you know what Tony Blair said? I mean, cast your mind back. Don't take my word for it, folks. Look it up. Tony Blair said, it's only John. Seriously, if that had been you or me, or some 70-year-old woman, we'd have been banged up. We'd have been in one of them police cells now. And not only that, I mean, you've undoubtedly seen what the recommendation is for sentencing, that people of ethnic minority groups are specially vetted. There's a report done on their lifestyles and their unfortunate circumstances in society. Listen, if there is a rule of law in this country, then it's a rule of law for everybody who is in this country. It isn't a rule of law for these people here and not for those people there, is it? We basically should have one rule of law, but somebody in their wisdom, some genius in a think tank in London has decided that, oh no, we've got to evaluate them, got to do a lifestyle report on them to see if they've had any unfortunate incidents in their past and where they live and are they economically deprived. Yeah, I mean, I've been economically deprived. When I was a young man, I started work at the age of 12. All right, I was only delivering newspapers and milk, but I was working from the age of 12, left school at the age of 14, yeah, and on my 15th birthday, I started work and I've never stopped since. And I'm 76 this time. I was going to tell you about my time in a prison cell. This is hard to believe, I'll tell you. I was about 12 years old at the time, and I was a Boy Scout, and they asked for volunteers to collect for the Royal Lifeboat Association, the RNLI. Yeah, and what you had was a tray full of flags. You've seen these people collecting with flags. They gave me a tin, and they said, go out there and sell the flags, get what you can for them, 6p a time, something like that. So I thought, oh yeah, I'll do this, to raise money for the RNLI. So I went out on the streets. I'm stood at a street corner in the middle of a industrial town just by Wigan, a place called Lee. If you're ever going past, put your foot down. Anyway, seriously, I was stood at the corner and I was rattling this tin saying, come on, missus, give us a tenner for a flag, And this policeman came up to me. He said, you're not allowed to do that. He said, what you've got to do, you stand there with your tin, and if anybody comes up and puts them, you can give them a flag. He said, but you're not allowed to, do any busking for it. You can't shout, you can't go up to people. And I said, oh, well, I didn't. Oh, nobody told me. So I thought no more about it. He said, you better give me your name and all that. So I gave him my name. And when I got home, my father, who was at the time a detective sergeant in the police at the local station, he said, you've got something to tell me, haven't you? I said, not really. I never thought nothing about it, you see. He said, oh, yes, you have. Weren't you today cautioned by the police? I said, oh, that. I said, I was just collecting for the Royal Lifeboat Association, the RNLI. So for the Boy Scouts, and I was in my Boy Scouts uniform, beret on, toggle, all the rest of it, short pants, get in the car. So I got in his car, we went to the police station, downstairs, into the cells, put me in a cell, locked me in. Seriously, I was 12 years old, yeah. I've been in there about 5 minutes, and all of a sudden the door burst open, and these two great big CID detectives come charging in. Took one look at me and started pissing themselves laughing. I don't know what was going on. Obviously, my father had thought, this is a good joke. I'll send two of my big boys down to give him a good hiding. Yeah. So, yes, I have been in a prison cell. Anyway, there'll be plenty of prisoners in prison cells shortly. And my brother, for a time, when he was with the police in Greater Manchester, it would be in the early 70s, there was some problem in the prisons and they were holding them in in police cells, and he was saying it was disgraceful. They had no way of feeding them properly, no means to actually cook food for them, so they were sending out for takeaways, no means to exercise them. He said it was bloody chaos. That's the song dinger, by the way, folks. So you've now been warned. You're going to get a song. It ain't going to be very good. I know, because I'll be singing it. Are you ready? This is, all right. Larry, see you, Larry. You probably didn't see him then. He was just running for the hills with his goat. Yeah. Here we go. This is by Judge Dredd. It's called Big Seven. I got a couple of LPs of Judge Dredd. I used to think he was quite amusing, One of my mates wrote a song for him called Donkey Dick, and it was he recorded it, and it was on his records. It was on the Best of Judge Dredd and all that, and on an album called It's All in the Mind, Donkey Dick it was called. I sang it the other week. Anyway, he wrote this song and sent it to Judge Dredd. Judge Dredd recorded it. It came out, and it was obviously doing quite well because it was a good selling record. So my mate went up to London to see him and said, I haven't got any royalties for this, and it's been published. He said, royalties? They were all bloody club bouncers. That's what Judge Dredd was. He was a club bouncer. So they said, come in, sit down. And he got a gin and tonic, poured a gin into a glass and a bit of tonic and gave it to him. Said, drink that. And my mate, Ron Ellis, his name's Ron Ellis, still around, he lives in Southport. He said, I don't drink. He said, see that drink? Drink that drink. So Ron Ellis thought, I better drink it. So he drank this drink. He said, now you've had your drink. Now get out. He never got paid. Bloody thugs, I tell you. Anyway, this is, so that's what Judge Dredd was. Club bouncer. Anyway, this is by Judge Dredd. It's called Big 7. Are you sitting comfortably? I will soon bugger that up for you. All right, get ready. You're in heaven when you hear Big 7. Hey, hey, diddy-dum-day. Hi, 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 hey, hey, diddy-dum-day. Hi, hi, hi. Mary had a little pig. She could not stop it grunting. She took it up the garden path and kicked its little rump in. Hey, hey, diddy-dum-day, diddy-dum-day, diddy-dum-day. Jack and Jill went up a hill to fetch a roll of cheese. Jack came down with a beaming smile and his trousers around his knees. Hey, hey, diddy-dum-day. Hey, hey, diddy-dum-day. Little Jack Corner sat on the corner with a dirty look in his eye. He never looked at the pretty girls, but he smiled when the boys went by. Hey, hey, diddy-dum-day. I. Hey, hey, diddy-dum-day. I. To love all night and sleep all day was really my desire. I tried it once but it wouldn't work 'cause the pussycat caught fire. Hey, hey, diddy-dum-day, diddy-dum-day. There you go, Big 7 by Judge Dredd. I just killed it, didn't I? Anyway, folks, if you like that, sick parade tomorrow morning. If you didn't, very wise.